So Hytale recently released, and its modding capabilities are insane. Thousands of mods have already been made, and it hasn't even been a month yet. But the first Hytale mod jam is already happening, and I've wanted to learn how to mod Hytale since it released. So I thought I'd join in. The goal is to learn how to actually create mods, come up with an idea that matches the theme, and create a fully functional mod in just 4 days. And wait, I've already missed a whole day. Son of a bitch. So I joined this a bit late. It was 71.5 hours left, and we had 96 hours in total, so instead of 4 days, I have 3 days, which isn't the best. Not only do I have very limited time, but I also would need to learn how to develop mods decently quickly, because I have very little idea on how to do this. Okay, so the theme is Echoes of the Machine, which means something. The first thing I thought about was the Minecraft sculk sensors and how they work. There's something there, but I honestly think this is too complicated with my current knowledge to add. I also thought about some sort of sound-based robot that could be activated by making a noise. So if you walk up to it or break a block or anything that would make a noise near it, it activates. I also had an idea of a machine that you find in games that emits some sort of sound. And once you find it, you can activate it. It could be a boss or a tool or a companion or anything like that. I also want to have a look at the definitions of echo and machine. An echo is basically just a repetition or imitation of a sound. And a machine is basically anything that consists of fixed or moving parts. So all of these could work. I just had a good idea, but that would be nearly impossible. Time machine, which makes sense because travels to the past, echoing the past. But how would that be possible? I honestly think this is the best bet, making just a small robot mod that adds like hostile and friendly robots, just like loads of little critters that you can also make a full set of tools and armor from and have a boss enemy as well. Lots of small things that add that are robot machine themed. So I've fleshed out the initial ideas a bit, so it's just a small robot themed mod, hostile and friendly creatures. It can drop resources in order to make a tool and armor set. Also has a boss that can be found and activated in caves. And then the boss could drop materials to create a robot companion. Okay, so this is a very, very basic concept I had of just the overall design I want to go for. So they'll be designed to look broken down and rusty and have like plants growing off of them and stuff like that. Maybe have like weapons on their back, like a cannon or something. I don't know, just something like this. Maybe with different colors and an overall like base design, but the simple concept is there. Also, the arms could have different variants like a drill or a gun or flamethrower or something like that. So I've made a few different concepts for the bots. I've got some simple ones here that are just their heads with wheels on, like a little tank looking one and a unicycle looking one as well. The next one's similar to the one with only one wheel, but it's inside of the robot itself, and it also has weapons on either side, like little daggers or something, and they just ram into the player. They can also have like a taser on top of its head. This can be on any of the robots. It can also have like the drill attachment that I drew here, and I also did one for a flying one maybe, and it also had an idea where they could hide in cardboard boxes with very realistic drawings of animals, and when they go up to the player, they just move the box up off of their head and they like hit them or something and then run away. I feel like that'd be really funny. Okay, so I got all the concepts and everything done so far for the robots, and the basic ideas of what I want the mod to be, I guess. I just want to add some to the boss robot description. Boss robot is immediately hostile to the player and can be found underground in a type of prefab or dungeon type thing, I guess, of a broken down lab, and can be activated by interacting with it or turning on some sort of power. And there are different types of small robots with different types of attachments. And then some robots can hide in the cardboard boxes and can hide from the player. You can make armor and weapons from robot scraps. And I thought it'd also be cool that you can make a friendly robot companion from parts of the boss robot, so there's actually an incentive to fight it. Maybe as well as some unique and powerful weapons. Right, but I do need to read through the NPC documentation on the Hytale modding website to understand how I'd actually go about this, because I honestly don't know how to do this. What I might do is make one of these simple robots first, then implement it into the game, but make it really simple. Alright, so I got most of the finalized ideas done for the types of robots that will be there. So Robots Brute, crazy reference, the Scout, which is the ground one, the Sentry, which is the flying one, and the Disguised one, which is the one in the box. And then each one can have subtypes, so Robot Scout with drill or a taser, so each one can interchange between the attachments. The drops are the scraps, the energy essence, special weapons that you can get from just killing some of the robots, like a taser arm or a drill arm, and a mechanical heart, which you can only get from the boss drop. Things you can craft will be the scrap armor, basic armor crafted from the scraps you get from robots. Scrap sword, spear, and mace. I felt like these would be the only weapons I would really want with this. I was thinking about adding the daggers as well, but I feel like that's a bit too much. I don't have that much time. Mechanical armor, which is made from titanium, which I forgot to add. Create from large amounts of scrap as well as iron. I might make a new bench for this, like a mechanical crafting bench or something. I don't know. Yeah, the mechanical armor, it's just like better scrap armor. I think it would be tier like 3, so as good as mithril, maybe. And then mechanical counterparts of the weapons as well. So you'd have to kill the boss quite a few times in order to get all of the stuff available. And I also forgot to add on the mechanical companion, which will just be like a robot that follows you around and maybe does damage to other enemies as well. Just depends on how much time I have to implement all this stuff, but this is the basic idea. Pretty simple mod, but I think the idea is pretty cool though. Guess what I'm gonna call the mod?
What?
Brute bot. Should it be counted as a boss? I think it should be elemental. The boss doesn't work, right? Because it's like broken down and shit. So its wheel doesn't work properly, so it has to like crawl along the floor with its big arms. And I wanted the boss to have like big sounds, but if it's on a wheel, it doesn't really have big sounds. So every time it hits the floor with its hand, it has a big sound. So it's chasing you really loud, like.
You know, this song sucks. I'm scrapping it. What's a good voice line?
Diddy Blood Detected.
I need to actually do like some voice acting here. Alright?
Diddy Blood Detected, I'm coming to get you.
That might actually just be the best.
Diddy Blood Detective. Diddy Blood Detective.
Yeah, you know how like robots be glitching and shit? Since he's old, he's got like that glitchy processing system type shit.
Diddy Blood
There we go, see, there's like the robot glitching. Fuck yeah.
Diddy Blood Detective.
Oh, wait. You got to use these voice lines.
I don't know about Diddy Blood Detected, because that'd be really funny, but...
You know like how some songs are like, it's like they sound like they're coming from a speaker really far away, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I know how to do that now. Listen, it's like I'm in the back rooms getting back shots.
For the rest of the first day, I continued to work on the model. And since this was my first time using Blockbench, I only managed to finish the modeling of the wheel. Going into day 2, I managed to get a good grasp on how Blockbench works. So I was able to get the base model done pretty quickly. And I also made sure I structured the files correctly, in order to make the animation process a lot easier.
Charlie, which one of these do you like more? Or should I just restart entirely?
That would be really good as a biome thing if you just had the bleep bloop parts instead of the... Make it slower, make the drums slower. It would sound really good as a biome. That the instruments and like the actual melody you've used would be very good for that. I don't know if this needs a boss theme, to be honest, because I don't think there is a way to implement boss themes. There's biomes and prefab specific music, but I don't think there's enemy music.
Wait, so what one did you like more? Like the tone of the first one or the second one?
First one. It's just lower pitch.
Yeah, sure. Like something slower.
Maybe no, a lot slower.
Oh.
I don't think you should have bass in there either. I think it should just be like 2 or 3 instruments.
So you meant something a little like this.
Yes, that's very fucking good, yes. Yeah, that's actually perfect. Mate, I mean, you can like add more if you want to, but that's the exact vibratroni I was thinking of. Maybe slightly slower. Like a bit slower. Yeah, that's so perfect. Maybe some like gaps in between so it's not constant as well. So it's not just a constant same thing, maybe like some little pauses. No, but that's very good. So for the rest of day 2, I prepared for the texturing by separating the UV of the model, as well as giving the model very simple colors for now. I had also managed to create an idle animation for the model, as well as implement it into the actual game. I then started to map out what I wanted the textures to look like with basic coloring. Going into day 3, I had worked a lot more on the texturing. My process was drawing the basic colors I wanted in Blockbench, importing it into a painting software to add detail, seeing how it looks on the model, then going back to make any changes I wanted to make. Have you done the voice lines yet, by the way?
Voice lines? I want to do voice lines.
Sure. Yeah, no, actually, yeah.
For this
I'm
robot
scared.
guy.
Voice acting the robot. Yeah, you got.
I do not know how to sound like a robot.
You just say it and then Ethan puts effects over it.
I put the effects over it. Yeah. No,
Well, let me say
I
that.
want just
read 'em out.
really
We get more,
simple
we get more,
ones.
We get more.
I want error, critical error, target spotted, scanning for target, shit like that.
He's reading all of them out anyway. I don't care.
Wait, do I just read that?
Yeah, just read it out. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
gonna be
okay.
muted as well. So okay. 3, 2, 1, go. I suppose.
Oh, you motherfucker. When I get my hands on you, you will get what you deserve. What do you deserve, you ask? A thrashing. We're not youngin', but yours truly will be the one to end your silly little existence. You're screwed, bucko. Boy, I'm gonna get you. Huzzah! Yippee! Target spotted. Scanning for target. Critical error.
That was beautiful.
That
Man.
was so
Holy
corny.
shit.
That's so sick.
Those are awesome.
That was so corny, man.
By the end of day 3, I had completely finished the textures, as well as created a walking animation, then applied them both to the in-game model. So at this point, I only had 12 hours left until the deadline and still had so much to do. I still had to make about 7 different animations, implement both the sound effects and music, implement an attack system so the robot can attack the player, as well as just making sure everything works in-game with the model, without actually knowing how to do most of this. So for the final 12 hours, I began by creating an alerted animation for whenever the robot sees the player. Created 2 different hurt animations that randomly play whenever the player attacks the robot. A death animation for whenever the robot is killed. 3 different attack animations, as well as figuring out how combat works in this game in order to implement it. Then finally started to implement the sound effects.
That is actually fucking awesome.
It's just so sick. God, we have 2.5 hours to get this done. I mean,
What?
I want it to have a random chance to play an audio. Oh, I can do probability. That's so fucking sick, man. That's so
That was like a-
sick.
Mm. Daniel?
Way too loud. That's cool though that actually works. Oh, you can press escape to stop it. Ah. I want to make this into an actual mod now. I want this guy to have cool fucking attacks and shit in a big arena.
And a nice boss theme.
Yeah. I kept the golem animation for whenever he falls because it kind of matches. He just jumps at you. Freaky. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did I do it? I just did it as well. Are you fucking kidding me?
No way that there's like a hard limit for.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go on Discord and just... If you're not able to submit the website, you can also submit via email. Please send us the following information, and your submission will be processed within 12 hours, usually 10 minutes. I really hope this works. If it doesn't, I'm going to be so pissed. Okay, so I did manage to get the mod submitted in the end. I had to send an email to them with all of the info I wanted to put in because I was literally a minute late. All of the voting has happened and everything, and my mod has got 7 votes in total. So I doubt I'd even come close to even being in like the top 10, honestly. Overall, it's fine because I feel like I did a good job and it was fun to do and learn anyway, so. But I do definitely want to come back to this at some point and actually add cool stuff to it. Like an actual boss fight, a biome and everything. Actually add all of the stuff into it and all of the different robots. Alright, so the mod jam is over and everything, and then it was Songs of the Machines, which was honestly really cool. Definitely one of the most complex mods that were made at the mod jam. It is insane what they managed to do with it. This is just it. This is the final thing I made. I feel like... Oh. I forgot I made a few of varying sizes. There's a really big one over here. I also figured out how to make parts of it glow, so I made the crystal glow as well. Just like as like a final detail. But yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly. I will definitely come back to it and add more stuff. But yeah, I'm going to show off everything that's actually within the mod itself. I'll start off with common, which is basically just the actual assets. So like all the models, the textures, the animations, everything like that, all the sounds. Okay, so icons is just the icon of the NPC itself. I haven't got anything in music. I was going to put the actual music in there, but I just ended up putting it in sounds instead, so it worked with the command that I showed. Stuff in NPC, elemental, robot, animations, and then there's 3 different sets. Default is the alerted, idle, and walk, so just the basic stuff. Damage is death, hurt, and hurts 2, so the 2 different hurt variations as well as the death animation. And attacks are just the attack animations. So ground slam, swing left, and swing right. The actual model for the NPC and the textures. And then in sounds are just all of the different sounds that it has. So critical error, which is its dying sound. Error, which is just like a random sound it makes sometimes whenever you hit it or when it's idle. Scanning is when it doesn't spot you and it's just sitting there idle. Target spotted is when it actually is alerted and sees you. And the 3 taunts are just, I think taunt 2 is the only one that plays when it's idle. Taunt 1 and 3 are the ones are when you hit it. And the 2 songs that were made. The abandoned lab for the biome that it would have been in, and the boss theme. Okay, so that's everything in the common folder. Now everything in the server folder, which is basically all of the interactions, the actual behavior of it as well. Okay, the first thing is audio. And in the audio category, there is a category for the bot itself, which links to all of the sounds, and it just has it in a category itself, so you can change the volume of everything within those categories. So all of the sound events in the next folder are linked to this. And in the sound events, there is the alerted sound, which is made up of just the target spotted. So whenever any of these sound events are played, it plays every sound that is within the sound event. Yeah, so I can just add something, and then I could add any sound to it I want, and then it plays it as well as this one. Plays all of the sounds. And the file itself is gotten from the common sounds that are here. Same with the death, it's just the critical error sound effect. The hurt is made up of 4 different indexes. And the reason for this is so I can have some of them are randomized. So index 0, its probability is, and there's nothing there, it's automatically set to 100. So this always plays. And it has the metal hit 1, metal hit 2, metal hit 3, and block hit weight, which is the exact same as like hitting a metal block. I just copied over the sounds from that. And then index 1 has a probability of 35, so it happens 35% of the time. And then it has the error sound effect. And then index 2 happens 25% of the time. It has the taunt. And I think it's just the bot saying, boy, I'm gonna get you. And then 3 is 10% of the time, and it's the taunt 3, and he basically just says, you motherfucker, but the fucker is censored with a glitchy sound. They can play on top of each other, which is a bit annoying. I could have prevent sound interruption off, but if I hit him while he's playing a voice line, so say for instance, if he says error, and I quickly hit him afterwards, it cuts the sound off, which is kind of annoying, so I just kept it on. And the idle has 3 indexes. So index 0 has 20% chance of playing, and it's just the scanning for target voice line. It just says that occasionally. Index 1 has also a 20% probability, and it's just the error one as well. Index 2 has a 10% chance of playing, and it's the taunt 2, which I think he says, when I get my hands on you, you will get what you deserve. And those are all of these sound events that can occur with this NPC. And then the drop list, I copied it over from the golem and just changed a few things. So, well, it's a lot of containers within itself. That's a lot. I'll just change it to the actual code. It's a lot simpler here. So the first item it can drop is the iron bar. It has a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 16. It's a robot, of course it drops iron. I was going to have it drop the scrap instead, but I didn't get around to making it. The robot is the only thing I made because of how long it took. And it also drops a gem voidstone, which is already in the game. This isn't a new thing, and it kind of fits because of the gem in its chest. I was gonna like make it drop a mechanical heart, which would have been like a rock with wires coming out of it or something anyway. So okay, then item player animations, the default file for this is what manages the animations of the interactions, which I'll get into in a sec. Basically, so how I made this was I just created item player animation and copied it from the actual Hytale column. And what I did was I deleted all of the stuff I didn't need at the top, all the different attack animations. And I added ground slam, swing left, and swing right. And then I changed the third person and third person moving animations to the animations that correspond to it that are in the common folder. So ground slam, swing left, swing right. Okay, those are the attack animations. These are the actual interactions. So ground slam itself is its own file. Again, I just created a new asset and just copied the golem one. Changed the name, changed the item animation ID and reference to the player animations file. And I did that for all of the interaction files because the golem does have its own ground slam, swing left and swing right attacks. So I just made my own animations and made new files for each of them and replaced them with my own animations and files for my own NPC. And then after the interaction, you need a root interaction, which is the actual order of attacks. So as you can see in the actual code, it's the actual chaining of the attacks. And then the order in which it attacks is the swing left, swing right, and then ground slam, which are all references to these interaction files. And then the actual model asset itself, again, I just copied over the golem model asset. So I changed the model to the bot model, changed the texture to the right texture. I also changed the gradient set to ornamented metal because without it, it looks like this, kind of weird. You can add gradients as well, which look crazy. Some of them look kind of cool though. Like that one looks kind of sick. I changed the hitbox a bit, changed its minimum scale to 1.5 because it seemed a bit too small in game. Eye height I think was originally 2 as well. I also changed its hitbox around to match it better. I didn't change all of the animations because this would have been an insane amount of work. The idle, I just changed to the idle one I made. I did the same for walk. I made its speed 1.5. I think it was like 0.8 before, but I made it a bit faster so it actually looks like it was walking along the floor instead of floating sometimes. Didn't change the walk backward. I changed the run to walk as well, but changed the speed to 2 so it just looks a bit faster. I changed its alerted to the alerted one I made. I changed the fluid idle, fluid walk, and fluid run to the normal idle, walk, and run animations I made, or idle and walk. I kept all the climbing ones same because it actually doesn't look too bad. All of the ones I kept the same don't look too bad with this model actually. Hurt animation and hurt 2 animation, and it just has a chance to swap between the two. Also, I forgot to mention the sound event IDs. Any of these sound events that I have, I put within the animations themselves here. So the hurt sound event goes here and here. The idle one goes here. The alert one goes here. And in the death one, I changed the death animation to the one I made, as well as added the sound event ID here. Didn't change anything in physics, and trails didn't change anything either. So that's all of the model asset things I changed. And then the actual NPC role itself, again, I just copied this over from the golem one. I did change a lot of the values though. So change the max health, change the drop list, change the appearance. I did change the max speed and view range a bit. I tried to change this, but every time I did, it bugged. Because I did want it to wander around whenever it didn't, like, spot an enemy. Because the golem usually just sits there and waits for an enemy to come into contact with it. And then, like, goes back to that exact spot whenever you run too far away. And I did want it to wander around and just be wherever it wanted to. But it just didn't really work. I don't know how to change it. I think it's because it's in the attitude group golem, so I'll have a look at that and try and like make its own attitude group soon, maybe, but I assume that's the reason. I did change the attack distance and the attack distance range. I think I might have kept this the same or slightly increased it. I'm not sure. I did increase this a lot just to have some sort of solution to the behavior component so it doesn't go back to its spot when you run away too far. Is this just a name? So if I change this to something, brute bot. Yeah, there you go. Top left, brute bot. It said something weird before. It said whatever was in that file previously that I deleted. But yeah, that's basically everything in the mod that I created in terms of the files. And this is the final model itself with the textures on. And by the way, the way I figured out how to make things glow is I went to element and changed the shading mode to always lit. So when it's in the game, it actually glows, which is really cool. I think I did a pretty good job with it, honestly. It was the first time for using block bench and texturing like this. Okay, here are the animations. So idle is just moving up and down a bit. So the fingers are animated. I tried to go with like an insane amount of detail with this. With every animation, the fingers are like quite detailed, especially. I feel like I could have done a bit more movement like back here. Like the wheel could move forward and back a bit, but that would be a bit too much because this already took an insane amount of time, especially with learning how to do something like this. But it's actually extremely similar to editing videos, like keyframing and video editing. So I got used to it pretty quickly. And then here's the walk animation. The wheel is very much so bugged in Blockbench because these rotation values are just not what I typed whatsoever. Whenever you save an animation and re-import it back in, sometimes it just changes the values to something it's just not what you made. It's really annoying, but it does work better in game. But I feel like I could have done better with the wheel, like modeling it and animating it, because it just looks kind of off compared to everything else. Alerted, I feel like I did a pretty good job with this, to be honest. Maybe could have done better with the arms, but the head is cool. The head movement's cool. Maybe could have made him lean in instead of going up. The hurt one's pretty simple. I turned the body, made the arm move so that it stayed in the almost same position. Hurt 2 is the direct opposite of it. It's the exact same values, just this arm was moved to this arm, and this arm was moved to this arm, and it moved left instead of right. The death, I feel like I did a very good job with. So he puts his hand up, starts to lean back a bit, and his eye actually, like, flickers off, flickers a few times, then turns off as he starts to fall. And then as his arm goes down, it like, his fingers close at the end. Even though you don't see this part, I got put a lot of detail into the fingers here as well for some reason. I just wanted it to be as perfect as it could have been. So he like slips, and then the arm just falls behind him, and then it slowly sinks. I feel like I did a good job with this animation especially. I don't know, there's just something about it. Also the wheel as well. Just tips to the side. It is so fun to make. And then swing left is pretty simple. He moves his arm up, twists his body a bit. This arm moves up so that it looks like it doesn't move. And that moves back. He makes his hand into a fist as he moves up. And then when he swings his arm, it turns into a open hand, and then his body like moves with it as well. His head also moves, but in a way where it looks like it isn't. I had to like rotate it to counter the body's rotation. Swing right, exactly the same, just on the other arm. Ground slam was also cool. So his arms moved down. They sort of clipped into the floor. When he goes down and he pushes his arms up, makes fists, and then looks down and then slams really quickly down. Also, the wheel up the back moves as well, so it goes back as he pushes up, turns a bit there, and then it slowly moves back to the starting position. Yeah, but overall, I feel like I did a really good job with this as my first time using Blockbench, then animating in Blockbench. Of course, there's lots of flaws within it, and I do also feel like I could have done a lot better if I had just saw this earlier and saw that it was going on for a day and I missed a day. Anyway, yeah, that was my first Hytale modding video and first time modding in Hytale. I think it was cool and fun. Probably the most stressed I've been with a time constraint because of just how short of time I had to do it and how good I wanted it to be, how much I tried. But yeah, let me know if you want more Hytale modding videos because I do want to make more, and I do want to honestly continue this mod and make this like a fully fledged boss battle, so that'd be sick. But yeah, the next video will just be a normal game dev video again on Godot. I've got a pretty cool game I want to make, and I think everyone's gonna love it because of how cool it is. And I'm really excited to make it, honestly. And like the Santa Run game I made, it will be public as well, so people can play it when it's finished. But yeah, like and subscribe, more videos soon. Bye.